You're listening to Negotiator, a podcast led by women of color from two generations, exploring what it means to negotiate power and possibility. With Gitanjali Ponnapa and Alpa Gupta, you'll hear stories and strategies shaped by different life stages, all with one mission: to help you claim your voice and your future.
Welcome back to the Negotiator podcast. I'm Gitanjali Ponnapa, and today we're diving into one of the most powerful tools you can bring to a negotiation: your confidence. Da-da-da-da-da-da. For women and people of color, navigating negotiations can be especially challenging when self doubt creeps in. And I'm not saying that self doubt doesn't creep into with other people, but it is really especially challenging for us. And here we are going to change that, or at least try to change that, and bring some awareness to the topic.
We're going to unpack exactly what confidence is, how it plays a crucial role in negotiations, and share some strategies to help you build and sustain it. But why are we talking about confidence? A lot of women and people of color struggle with self-confidence and self-esteem. And it goes without saying that this has a significant impact on negotiation outcomes. In our previous episodes, we've spoken about imposter syndrome and how personality traits affect negotiation outcomes as well. But today we'll unpack confidence.
Okay.
So let's get started. What is confidence? So, confidence at its core is about believing in your ability to handle challenges and succeed in any situation. It's really not about having the answers. It's not that you know everything. It's about the trust you have in your own judgment and in your ability to navigate tough conversations, decisions, and situations, uncertainty. And I was talking to my therapist, and my initial thoughts were that confidence is something you're built with, you're born with.
So it's inbuilt, like you came you came wired with it.
You came wired with it. And she told me, so how are you confident about something? How do you know you're confident about something? And it really, made me think about, I'm a big fan of Adam Grant. I really do like his work. I do, talk about him a lot. But in his book, Give and Take, he challenges the idea that confidence is an inherent trait. What he says is the more risks you take, the more practice you have, the more decision making you actually do, even if they don't go as planned, you build your confidence because you have practice. And with the conversation with my therapist, it made me think like that's actually true because I'm really confident in certain areas of my life. If it came to academics, if it came to speaking, I'm confident. But if tomorrow, Gitanjali, you asked me, come, let's go kite surfing, like I would have zero confidence because I haven't in my past had any experience with being a sporty person.
Yeah.
So the ability to suddenly get on a I guess I don't even know, is it a kite board? I don't know, wakeboard, some kind of board.
Yeah.
And go kite surfing, wakeboarding, whatever it is, my confidence would be out of the window.
Yeah, sure.
And so do you think you were born with confidence, Gitanjali? Because I perceive you to be an extremely confident person.
Was I born confident? Am I confident? Yes. I don't even have to think about it to tell you yes. And was I born with it? I don't know. I can't say like if I came out like a happy, confident baby, like I'm ready for the world. But what I can tell you is so my mother did some very specific things that I think helped confidence. So as an example, for my brother and I, we were in our schools, we were in the debate team. Well, that was practice. You had to write things down. You had to think. You had to talk about it. Then you had to memorize. Then you had to stand up and pretend that there were not the 500 kids in school looking at you doing it. So that practice of being on the debate team helped build confidence. So she gave us a space to build confidence. She also did things like, oh my God, this used to be so annoying. If we went to the park we had to come back and we had to write a paragraph about going to the park.
Oh God, my mom would do this too.
Yeah. You went to the grocery store, you had to come back and write a paragraph about the price of eggs. But she built my confidence in my writing ability by making me do these silly little things.
Yep.
Right? Then I think about when I left home to go to college. I don't remember her ever being a clingy mom. I don't remember her saying, you have to call me and you have to call me at this time. And this was, by the way, pre WhatsApp, pre everything, right? So you really had to make a date to call somebody. I don't remember that. I remember her just being like, yeah, you're gonna go out into the world and you're gonna be just fine. And that's somebody else's faith in me built confidence as well. So, but in the context of negotiation specifically, I would also like to think that, okay, so my mother had this great way of having a debate with us, which lasted a day or a half or 5 minutes, it didn't matter. But when she wanted to wrap up that discussion, like we're done, she would say, I am mummy. It was like an announcement, like now I'm the boss. It's very good that we had this discussion, but now we're done. And what that taught me, though, now that I think about it, was she made space for conversation. She made it okay to have the debate, but ultimately, the power dynamic, she is the boss. And she made that decision for us. So, in terms of negotiation, I actually think having that kind of confidence, whether it's from your position as mummy, as she would say, whether it's from your position, or in my case, whether it came from practice, because I had multiple opportunities in life to practice being confident, it helps me stand firm on my terms. It helps me advocate for my needs. And in a way, it also gives me the belief. We were talking about choice mindset. I believe that I can reach an agreement that works well that mostly works well for most people involved. So I believe it. I genuinely, in my heart, I have that belief that anyone can learn it, but I have because I know how to do these things. Stand firm, advocate, and believe.
So simply having the self-belief that you can manage, that you will be able to navigate, could be enough. I mean, I can see a lot of people who I might believe don't have the skills, but they believe it.
Yeah.
And they are confident.
Okay, there's borderline arrogance.
Of course,
but I want
of course. But I just want to say, confidence is perception also, because I might feel super unconfident, or I might be self-doubting myself, but people have told me, oh, you seem very confident. I'm going on stage and I can tell if I have to speak that I'm nervous about it, but I come across confident. And when you were speaking, it made me think. I asked you the question, were you born with it? I would like to think, and now that I'm thinking about my son, that yes, you are born confident. Okay. I'm thinking, and this is really out there, I'm thinking that yes, maybe you are born confident, and it is your experiences that slowly take that confidence away from you. Because children don't come and say, I can't do this. Children are like, I'm going to jump off this table onto this couch and then onto, to glass or whatever. Nothing is going to happen to me. They have confidence. And it just makes me think. It's just something I want to put out there. What if you are actually born confident? I would like, I'm going to make a little sticky note thing about this. I want to read about this because are we all born with like a quota of confidence and then life takes it away? Yes. Either our parents, because they're overprotective, they take it away, or our school system takes it away, or our being teased by our friends takes it away. Yes. So are we all just born confident and then life kind of just sucks it out of you? Because I remember this time. Okay, nice. I remember this time. It was my cousin's wedding and they were doing the Sangeet. And in Indian weddings, a Sangeet is literally a dance performance by all the family members and friends of the groom and the bride. And it was a wedding that I attended, and there was a friend group dancing for the bride. And I think I was 8 years old, and I was just like, I'm gonna go there and join them. And so I went there, made myself the center of attention, decided that I would do whatever choreography I knew. I was dancing. And I remember this because people were coming to me and telling me, wow, like I was an 8-year-old kid who just decided that this is what I wanted to do at someone's wedding. And then as I was growing up, I remember this one time I was dancing, and this guy I know, he made a comment about me being overweight and how I shouldn't be taking up the space that I was taking up. And as a dancer, and I remember feeling, I don't think I really danced much after that, because it really shook my confidence, because I never knew that weight was related to the ability of being able to dance.
Yeah, they were not connected in your brain.
They were never connected in my brain. And of course, that my dancing was making this person extremely uncomfortable because I was overweight. And I never thought of it, but I remember it shattered my confidence. So just again, I know, sorry, Adam Grant, I did agree with you at the beginning of this episode, but as we have been talking, I would like to make that hypothesis that you are born with confidence, and there are times in your life that slowly shatter that confidence, and it's about your ability to bring it back.
And maybe your ability to bring, how would you develop a way to bring it back? Like thinking about, I have it, I've always had it, I've lost it, now I'm aware that I've lost it, now how do I bring it back? And you mentioned something that I don't, I'm sorry, but the power of why and the circle.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you introduce it, because I'm very skeptical about it, but you introduce it.
I mean, it was more about having a sense of purpose. That's because when Simon Sinek talks about the power of why, or starting with your why, it really brings me back to that values conversation we had, right? And in conjunction with negotiation, I really think that confidence is it's not only about your self-belief. You need to have self-belief, but you also need to know why you're negotiating. What are you actually driving for? And this is something we've actually spoken about in our previous episodes. It's just that you show up more assertive if you know what your values are, what you stand for, your purpose, and you're less likely to back down.
Yes. And maybe back down. I'm trying to think what the connection is. Okay. So let me. I did some work last year around trying to arrive at what is my purpose, right? And what is my purpose in the world that I live in, and in the world that I want to contribute to. And I did a way of thinking about it, which is, I thought about, what are my strengths? So what am I really good at? Technology, transformation, people, like skills, like stuff that I'm good at.
Actually, Nati, Nati Ravis, she has another podcast called There's a Workshop for that. She calls it What's in My Backpack.
Yes, correct. Yes. So what's in my backpack? I have these tools in my backpack. What are they? I kind of worked through that. I also worked on articulating what is my passion. I might have a bunch of stuff, like I'm a killer good project manager, but I'm not passionate about it. I am absolutely brilliant. I'm saying it myself, at time management, but that's not where I get my energy from, right? So I thought about, what am I passionate about? What do I love to do? And then I thought about my contribution to the world. And then I said, okay, taking these three things, what's in my backpack? What am I passionate about? And what does the world need? How could I arrive at my passion? So it was a little bit of an academic exercise, but I need,
like the Ikigai exercise.
Yes, right. I needed to play with it. I got ChatGPT to help me with it. I did a VR test for strengths, but it was an interesting process. I'll tell you what I ended up at. Okay, so it's just going to be a few sentences, but I'll tell you what I ended up at. I ended up at, when businesses leverage technology and digital to also empower women and people of color, then as a society, we create positive change. A business transformation that fosters diversity, equity, and authentic success in the workplace. That's what I want to stand for. So let's make a world where success is as diverse as it gets, and each of us can make our own way in our own style with no compromises. Right? Now let's loop that back to Simon Sinek and what that is in terms of a negotiation.
So you confidently stand behind the fact that diversity inclusion is very important to you. Not only diversity inclusion in terms of gender, race, color, all of that stuff, but also thought.
Yes.
Diversity of thought. So let's say you were faced in a negotiation to make a choice for your business, maybe while you were employed. where these values were being thwarted.
Sure.
Right? And you had to either subscribe to it, or you didn't, or you had the chance to walk out.
Yeah.
It was a negotiation that involved these constructs. That's a very easy choice for you because you know what you stand for. You, even though there might be money on the line. There's always money on the line. There's always, achievement and look at me.
There's always a family to be taken care of and a mortgage to be paid.
Yes, I'm putting that on hold. Yeah? I'm saying that given that there is always those things, and of course you need to take care of your family, of course, all of those things, knowing that those values are what you stand for, you are able to advocate very strongly for what you believe in. And you don't mind being seen as the antagonist when that's what you actually believe in. Like, it's very hard I don't feel bad if I'm standing up for the things that I actually care about in front of people who might see it differently.
Yeah.
But I'm easily swayed if I don't have a strong point of view.
True. So not having a why as an anchor can just let you float in the wind.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. I see that.
So for me, for example, as cliched as it sounds, I had a lot of ambitions when I was younger, but ever since I became a mom, there are a few things that I want my child to see me as, because that's who I want to be. The first thing is I want to be principled. I want to have values. The second is I am a driven person. I'm an ambitious person, but I'm also a very caring and kind and emotional person. And those things are not going to change about me. And I want to be that person for my son always, and my husband as well. And tell me.
I have to get up and give you a hug. I don't think I've actually ever heard somebody say this out aloud, that this is what I want my son to see me as.
Yeah, of course.
And then to be able to say the three things that you want your son to see you as. That's beautiful. That's actually like, wow, well done, you.
Thank you.
Wow.
No.
Principled. I don't know if I've even thought of the word, like, I would like my child to see me as a person of integrity.
Yeah.
And I don't think if I would have framed my life when, like early, to be even to articulate that. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because for me, I've gone through a transformative period in the last year and a half. I mean, since my son was born. And again, I mean, I'm bringing Grant back. So Adam Grant makes.
He's like your best bud.
I love him.
Yeah,
I really do. I really do. I really like the way he speaks. I like his thoughts. I really subscribe to his kind of thinking.
Okay.
And in his book, again, Givers and Takers, he talks about different kind of people. And I really see myself as a giver. And I was thinking about this in terms of negotiations. So a giver is a person who is generous and focuses on helping others. Not that they don't expect anything in return.
Yeah.
Of course, in the larger scheme of things, I think things come back to you, but it's not immediate. It's not like I'm helping you, so you now need to help me back immediately, or it's like quid pro quo kind of a situation. And in negotiations, usually givers are, more willing to collaborate. They're more willing to get that, best case for everybody. Or, sometimes they give in. They give in to what another person wants. My belief is just because I'm like that, maybe in this negotiation today, like one negotiation that I'm having with you, it doesn't mean I might not get exactly what I wanted. But at the same time, I think in the longer run, I believe that there is some kind of karma at play and things balance out. And overarchingly, givers get more than takers do.
Okay.
It does not mean that I'm a pushover. That's not at all what I'm saying. But how does this link with confidence? Why am I talking about it? It's because it allows me to also make an area for negotiation where I'm confident in saying, okay, this is who I am as a person. I would rather be a giver in certain situations, even if that means a financial impact, even if that means certain things, I'm more okay being that person. And that's where my confidence comes in play. It's like there might be, and this is what I'm trying to get at, and maybe you can help me here, is that there might be a financial impact, but I'm more confident in saying, you know what, that's okay, because this is who I am as a person.
Is that also true because you're aware of the trade-off? That the trade-off is, if I give in, then I am not principled, and then I am not the person my son should see.
Yes.
That's the trade-off, that you are willing to have that hurt, the pain of the financial loss.
Correct.
Because for you at that moment in your life,
In this moment,
this part is important.
Yes, because
the trade-off is understood.
For me, I need to not prove, but I want to be this person who has exactly what I was saying earlier, that I'm driven, yet I'm principled, and yet I am a kind, generous person.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I will let people take advantage of me.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to be a little bit more flexible.
Okay. I had a wonderful discussion a couple nights ago with my niece, and she asked me, what are my work values and your work ethic? And I thought, for a 28-year-old, that's a very solid question.
Very good question.
Now, she was asking me because she actually went and spoke with her boss about some situation at work. And I actually saw in the way that she described it what you were saying. Knowing her values gave her confidence to go have a tough discussion.
Yeah.
It gave her legs and muscle and punching power because she had thought about what her values are.
Yeah.
And why she's going and having that discussion.
Why she's having that discussion and what she wants out of it, right? Because the last thing, for me, no amount of financial reward will, I mean, maybe now with maybe not no amount.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Let's be reasonable. Yeah, let's be reasonable. An amount that, let's say, a corporate is willing to say give or take here it's not going to change my life. I would rather be mentally, physically well than deal with people that I don't want to deal with, because it really, really impacts my values. And that gives me confidence today. I have to say, again, bringing back the support system, all of those topics as well. The fact that I have a husband who cares about me, takes care of me. I have family. I have you, for example, to talk to. All of these things, it's support system that you can't, the Jedi Council that you mentioned, you rely on them. And
yes.
And that gives me more strength. But this is coming from a place that I'm not starving.
Yeah.
I'm not financially in ruins, where I need to compromise on these things.
Yes. So we're talking about a baseline happy place that you are in, right? Correct. So, and that's fine. We don't have to be in dire straits. Many of us in at least in the first world are blessed with actually living privileged lives.
Correct.
And even talking about negotiation and us doing a podcast is a privilege.
It's a privilege.
Yeah. We don't have.
Yeah, but I want to baseline this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know a lot of people listening to me. Yeah, easy for her to say, she has this and this, and we don't have this. But I want to say it. I understand my point of privilege here, but this is where I am.
Yeah.
When it comes to my future, how I see future negotiations with people, and of course my career moving forward. But I wanted to ask you. So we spoke quite a lot about values and all of this. And if you haven't listened to our values episode, definitely go back and listen to that. But how do you believe is the best way to build confidence? Rebuild confidence.
Rebuild or refined.
Refind your confidence.
Yes. With what my mommy did.
Yeah.
My mommy made us practice.
Yeah.
Like, I think she would be secretly delighted that I'm talking about her so much on this podcast, but it's appropriate because it was just, and it still is just practice. So I speak publicly, so I'm a public speaker. I have been in front of 1,000 people talking about something, and usually after the fact, people will come up and say, "Hey, you were super confident," and I always reply because I believe it is almost an imperative to not just say thank you, especially if it's a younger person than me, to say, thank you. I spent 3 hours preparing for that. Thank you for noticing that. So that it always gives, I want it, like, it's very important, again, from a values perspective for me to not ever give the impression that, I was just born with it. Yeah. It's just charm, or, oh, what a charismatic person. No, I practiced. I put hard work and hours into it.
So funny when you say it like this, because there's so many people who would do exactly the opposite. Be like, yeah, this is how I am, Miss Perfect.
Really?
And of course, I mean, have you've worked in consulting most of your life?
Okay. All right. So, but let's talk about actually. Okay. So our life experiences. Another way that I think is a wonderful way of practicing is also practicing by observation. So there's that saying, fools learn from their own mistakes. Wise people learn from other people's mistakes, which I think is a very negative way of saying it. So let me make it positive. I think you can learn vicariously.
Yeah.
You can learn by observation of how are other people who are succeeding at the little micro negotiations, how are they sort of flowing through their work life? And some of us are being bumpy in our work life. We have bruises from it. Pausing or regularly observing how others are doing it in both ways, meaning there could be others like the super confident saying, oh yeah, this is who I am. And you look at it and say, okay, maybe that's an option.
That is an option.
It is an option.
Or values.
Correct. So you sort of use other people as your comparative space to say, I want to be like that, or I don't want to be like that. I think I'm going to guess, Abba, that when you became a parent, I don't know this, so just allow me to make this example. When you became a parent, you also thought about, oh, I want to take those things from my dad and those things from my mom, but oh my God, I'm not going to do that thing that my parents did to me, right? It's a little bit like that. I think that you look at people around you, you find the Jedi Council, the role models, and you say, oh, I really like that part. I'll take that. But that part I don't like so much, so I won't take that. Confidence building, I think, comes also from stopping, pausing, and observing and having that vicarious learning.
Agreed. I really like that. And that's also about having those conversations with people, right? Not being afraid to ask. Of course, you can observe, and I think observation is really important. And then also, I mean, let's be honest again. For women, there aren't a lot of role models to observe, so we often have to. I mean, it's changing.
Yeah.
Again, it's changing.
Thank God.
But let's be honest. Like we, a lot of the time, had to observe people different from us. And that's why we're doing this as well, if you think about it.
Yes, and that aspect, when I took over the team that you were in already, when I took that team on, the number of people, it really surprised me, who emailed me offline, meaning not publicly, not on a forum, not on a call, nothing like that, just personal email to me saying, I am so excited to see a woman, an Indian in Europe, take on a role like this. I didn't think it was possible. That really, for me, was I don't want to say overwhelming. I don't want nothing. It was just like, it was like, heck, we have.
Are you going to give us an explicit word?
I was going to give you an explicit word now, but no. But to me, it was like, heck, we've got work to do.
Of course.
It was so powerful. The number of emails I got from people saying, wow, this is so exciting. I'm like, really? This is so exciting?
Yeah, confidence. But that's the thing. You have confidence in yourself, and you're like, of course, I deserve this, or I'm here because I worked for it. But I remember this moment very, very clearly in my mind, and it had nothing to do with me. Was that when I received that email, I had no idea who you were, and I remember receiving this email being like, new head of XYZ. Is going to be Gitanjali Ponnapa. And I was like, yes! I had no idea who you were, but I was just happy that finally there was representation.
Representation. That also helps with confidence. You see, it is possible. I can do this because, hey, this person who's kind of sort of like me is also doing it. Yeah. You have talked quite a bit about how you are averse to negotiating because you're an agreeable person. You're high in agreeableness. Do you think if you were to think about more deeply and more constantly, think about practicing negotiation? So I know that there is a personal side of life where you have to negotiate with your son about bedtime.
Yeah.
Sure. Right? But you do it every day.
Yeah.
He's asking every day to sleep 15 minutes later and later. Or he's negotiating every day with you about the piece of candy and not a banana, but I want a chocolate, right? But you have practice every day and you're getting better and more creative. Do you think that logic applies at work too?
Can I just say it's a lot easier at work?
It's a lot easier to work.
Like,
okay.
I would say that at least there's most of the time, there is at least partially logical person on the other side.
Yeah.
But when you're negotiating with a kid, it's like banging your head against a wall.
Okay.
I just want to say that completely.
All right.
The more you experience, small successes at negotiating, whether it's like flexible hours, whether it's I don't know, better work-life balance, whether it's, I mean, I can only think of the things that matter to me, but
Yeah.
also getting on a project that you really want to getting to work in an area that you want to work in, those kinds of things. These small wins, they create momentum for you.
Mhm.
And that builds the confidence. Again, building confidence, rebuilding the confidence, or building a confidence in an area that you've never, had practice in before,
Mhm.
is necessary.
Yeah.
And be able to take on bigger challenges down the line. And for me, it is about those little practices. I do put myself out there, have those conversations. I am an agreeable person. I mean, this is something, again, I think we've spoken about it a few times, is that I struggle with this. I think sometimes I can have people pleasing tendencies which come back. But I see you laughing.
You've heard that song? I'm a people. That pleaser song.
Definitely. Cat Burns, People Pleaser, great song. All of you should listen to it.
It makes me sad though.
Really, I love
It makes me sad for people pleasers.
who say I know.
Yeah, like it makes me sad that I really want to like tell people no, it's okay, stand up for yourself first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but I think most women are not taught to do that. I think the environments we grow up in are just not conducive to that. And I understand what you say. I believe me, from my heart, I subscribe to what you're saying. I'm just wondering if contextually we aren't seen as,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so I want to ask you. I've been trying to negotiate smaller things, whether it's flexible hours, talking to people on projects, trying to understand, can I receive support from XYZ,
Yeah.
to build that kind of self-efficacy in negotiation, but also that confidence that, okay, if I'm successful here, what did I learn from it? The feedback mechanism that we spoke about in the previous episode.
Mhm.
Can you think of an example
Okay.
from early on in your career where, when you were like a bit of a negotiation newbie, so not now, because I think now you do have a lot of practice and a lot of experience, and you're speaking from that, but I'm trying to take you back, 5 years. Not kidding. I don't know, 20 years. I don't know. When did you
Okay.
start your career?
25 years ago.
So let's say
26.
So let's say 25 years ago.
Okay.
In your first job.
Yeah.
I remember it was at in a factory. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what's your question?
How did you practice negotiations in those? I'm assuming you were the only woman there.
Yes.
They had was it you that they had to create a bathroom for?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me.
Okay.
How did you practice in those situations?
Okay, so spoiler alert, just let's start with this. I didn't practice. I didn't even know I should, right? So let's just start with that. But okay. So I worked in a factory in the middle of nowhere, India. And when I say middle of nowhere, India, I really mean in India, there was not even a train track near it. Like that's the middle of nowhere. And yes, I was the only woman in the factory. I can tell you where I should have negotiated.
Yeah.
And I didn't. Right. I was very bold. Already people were quite amazed that I was there, right? That, oh, I agreed to take this job, that I was willing to do the hardship of being there with absolutely no support, no ecosystem, no friends, no family, nothing. That as a young woman, I was agreeing to be there. So they already had surprised. They were already questioning me in the sense of they were not accustomed to someone like me. And by someone like me, I mean a young woman making a choice like that. Like, what kind of family does she come from that they allow her to do this? Not in a good or bad way, but just in a curious way, right?
I mean, come on, not only it's not just curious. I love that you say this.
Because they were nice people that I worked with. They were really sweet.
So what's
right?
not nice?
Yes. And
Racists are nice too. Nice.
Yeah. So what happened? I'm fast forwarding now many months down the line, and I don't remember the details, but I remember that I wanted to go to another factory. I wanted to like go and do something in the same company, but just like I wanted to go do something else. And then the factory manager found out. And when I say found out, I didn't know that I was not supposed to have a conversation with somebody else.
This happened to me 6 months ago.
Right? So I didn't know that there was protocol that if I don't want to do this, which I felt like I'd done my term,
Yeah.
and now I wanted to go do the next thing because I wanted to learn the next thing. I did not know that there was a protocol. There's a chain of command that goes through this person, the factory head, the head of the thing. And without knowing what it was, I very cheerily didn't realize that it was a place for negotiation, meaning I could have negotiated, hey, can I finish my term here a little bit earlier? I didn't negotiate, hey, can you pay for me to go to the next factory? I didn't think of any of that. I was just very pleased with myself that I got this other factory to go to. So I went up to him and I just had this like, I'm so happy, I'm so excited. And I got into a lot of trouble. Now, early in my career, I wish somebody had, like we talked about buddy, somebody had held my hand and said, there is a protocol, there is a chain of command. This is why your Jedi Council, even when you start, quickly build that network around you. I wish I had that. I wish I had known that everything is up for negotiation. I didn't know that. I really didn't. I didn't realize that I could have asked for so many things if I'd gone about it the right way. So I don't have a really great example, but this is one from, and really shout out to everybody from that factory because I really liked working there. I just was done with the term and I was like done learning that and I just wanted to go on.
Yeah.
I didn't think about how that person, empathy, I didn't think about how that person viewed it as, oh, she doesn't want to work in our factory anymore. I didn't pause to think that there was an emotional element to how proud he was that he created a factory environment for a young woman to come and work in. He had pride and he was hurt and insulted that I moved on without so much as asking him for permission or taking his help to navigate it. And that disconnect of maybe twice my age, not having that empathy or the awareness to do it. So now looking back, I would have done that differently.
Okay. And how do you, and having practiced those kinds of things, how have you built your confidence over the years? What did you learn from that, and how did you use that to build confidence?
Yeah, we talk quite a lot about self-awareness and reflection, and that pause and that reflection of why is this guy so angry with me? Why is he so upset? That realization that he was actually hurt and insulted. I began to try and see, like, truly put myself in other people's shoes, truly try and think about not them as stakeholders, but people on the other side, in quotes, as human beings with rational reasons, with emotional reasons. People have political reasons, and to sort of broaden my understanding of who am I speaking with. So, how did that play out? Definitely, I learned the lesson of broadening my understanding of another person and not treating them as a stakeholder on an Excel spreadsheet on a map, a stakeholder map, but as a human being. So personalizing it was one lesson learned. The second lesson learned was really, I don't have to go about things on my own. I could have discussed that option with the people who were nice and in my team. And I could have said, hey, I'm thinking of another factory. What do you think? I was not consultative. So I learned from that lesson going forward, I really must consult. You must talk to other people, find out if you're on the right path, have someone else weigh in, get another perspective, have a buddy or a Jedi council. Definitely something that I learned from that. Definitely.
And maybe let's like forward you 6 to 7 years from now. Let's talk about another small negotiation that you put yourself through. Similar, maybe a similar style, something that, again, you kind of put yourself out there, learn something from it, didn't go exactly as planned, but again, built the confidence for the next one.
I have a person pop up in my brain now.
Yeah.
And you say that. And I'm certain she's not listening to this podcast, so I can so I can talk about it. And it probably was 5-6 years later. I'm going to say a new manager, not even 30, 26 something, like nothing, right? Hardly any experience, like nobody. Like my joke used to be, there's a corporate ladder. I'm not even on the ladder.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up at the ladder. Like I see the ladder somewhere, but like that kind of a stage in my career. And this person, Vicky was on my team, and I inherited a team. I took on a team, and this person was on the team. And Vicky was 30 years older than me. I had never managed somebody 30 years older than me. Forget 30 years older than me. I've not really managed people like that. And Vicky had, there was a very specific thing that I needed to negotiate with her, which was the number of days that she was working. So she wanted to work full time, and I actually needed her to work part time.
Yeah.
And the reason that I needed her to work part time was I didn't have budget for her. Right? It wasn't. It was a kind of a project where I didn't have budget for 5 days a week. I had budget for 3 days a week. And just to be clear, in this negotiation, it didn't affect her salary. She was still a full-time employee. It was just how much I wanted her on the project. Right? That's it. She was a full-time employee, like a consulting person. She could have, spent 3 days a week with me and 2 days on another project.
Were you nervous about this negotiation? Because we are talking about confidence, right?
Yeah.
So how did you go in?
I wasn't nervous. This is why this is such a terrible story, because I wasn't nervous. I was arrogant. I went in to have this discussion thinking that on a rational level, she's going to understand that we only have budget for 3 days a week. What I didn't plan for, because I didn't bother to first have empathy, second, to understand this person on the other side, third, to prepare. I didn't do any of these things. I went into the discussion and came back completely beat up by her because she was talking to me about, hey, this makes me look bad in front of the rest of the project because everybody else is 5 days a week and I'm 3 days a week. I hadn't even thought about face saving. I had not even thought about her reputation. I hadn't even thought that she now thinks that she is not good enough to be on the project for 5 days and that I am using budget as an excuse. It was such a horrendous experience for me. I came away from that half an hour meeting with her. I think I cried. Forget her crying. I think I cried. I had to go for a walk. I had to talk to my boss because I was emotionally unprepared to have had that discussion because I didn't prepare. Forget emotional unpreparedness.
So, okay, I'm gonna talk about this. Thanks for that example. I actually really like it because it gives you.
And sorry, Vicky.
It's
like really sorry. Now, still, I feel bad. She's still on my mind 20 years later.
If she's 30 years older, she's around 80, right?
She's now like retired and probably with grandchildren.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vicky.
So when you have low confidence, low self-confidence, low self-esteem, it shows up as self-doubt, over apologizing.
Yep.
In those negotiations, right? Women of color, we're socialized to downplay our achievements, minimize our acts, not take up too much space, like my dancing example. And so we might under negotiate, where you either accept these subpar deals or you fail to assert your values.
Yeah.
But what you just described is the other side, which is overconfidence in negotiations.
Yeah.
When someone is overly confident, you underestimate the challenges like you did.
Yes.
You become dismissive of other people's viewpoints. Maybe you weren't dismissive, but you were.
No, I was dismissive. I can honestly, today, with 20 years of reflection on it, I can tell you, I had not a clue. I was insensitive. I was dismissive. Forget underestimate. I didn't even estimate, Appa. It's so embarrassing now.
And you didn't recognize your own weakness.
Yeah. I sucked.
So not only did you alienate Vicky. Oh God.
Oh, see, you wanted.
Yes. Finally, I'm not the one who has all the problems.
Yeah, see, you wanted something from the last episode.
Course.
You're like, what's your
because my listeners must feel like I'm this damaged human who has so many problems. But you fail to see. I'm so excited about this. You fail to see the opportunities for compromise.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely true. And I was clueless. There was no idea in my brain of respect because I didn't think I was being disrespectful. That's the other side of it. That's the arrogance of youth. And it's the stupidity of not preparing. Great life lesson that this sort of thing is very high risk. what if, and now I'm doing a what if thing with you from a extreme position. She was an older woman, closer to retirement than I was. I didn't even know what retirement was. She could have sued the firm for me discriminating against her. Like I really put myself and the firm at risk because I was an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And this was because I was overconfident. And so I went into a negotiation truly unprepared and blind. And now horribly embarrassed.
That's okay. At least you embarrassed yourself in front of all our listeners. It's great. I'm joking. Come on, I'm joking. Everyone, I'm joking. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so I love this part. I'll tell you why. Because I love another person I love instead apart from Adam Grant is this the concept of positive intelligence.
Oh, yes.
I've spoken to you about both of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of the author is Shirzad Shamin, and he really encourages us in the book to think about our inner saboteurs.
Mm.
And it's funny because saboteurs in his mind, even though he calls them saboteurs, we might think of them positively in some ways. So, for example, a saboteur that I have is the hyperachiever. Now, the hyperachiever for any Indian parent is like, wow, what a great, can you imagine like
Yeah.
being a hyperachiever? You're focused on results, you're focused on growth, you're focused on being driven towards success.
And you're rewarded.
And you're rewarded for it.
Mm-hmm.
But the hyperachiever, we're constantly trying to prove ourselves. So when we don't get that external validation that we've been successful, that actually leads us to feeling disconnected, to actually having lower self-confidence. So I just wanted to like bring this concept for people. There's other saboteurs. Hyperachiever for me is one of them, but the pleaser, as we spoke about, is another.
Oh. Aha. Okay. All right.
So, you again completely neglecting their own self-worth for just looking for external validation, right?
Okay.
Pleasers are harder to, let's say, talk about positively, but at the same time, a person like, for example, I know a lot of pleasers in our female circles, and they are also very nurturing. They're making sure people are okay, so there's always a double-edged sword. I wanted to ask you, based on what I'm hearing, at least from this story, would you say that you're hyper rational?
Oh, God, yes. Okay. I get accused rightly, so I can take no offense to it, for being hyper rational.
Mm-hmm.
It has taken me very many bumps, very, very many hours of therapy. Not good one, like not at all good. It has not been all good at all in that sense, to recognize, for whatever the reasons may be, that I am hyper rational.
Mm-hmm.
I may not be a people pleaser, I may not be all of those other things, but I am hyper rational. I tell you, it really actually made me so sad. So my niece, I don't know, 2 3 months ago, she was telling me something. She's like she's talking about work, or she's talking about something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And I was listening to her, and I was very clinical, and I answered the question, and I gave her 3 bullet points of what she should do next. And she looked at me and she said, "How about a hug?"
And that's true.
And I thought, wow, okay, yes, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. Yes, I should hug. So yes, I do have that. I definitely have that challenge.
Cannot wait to introduce you to my husband. So both of you can talk about this because he's exactly the same. Half of the time I'm like, I'm in need of petting. Like,
Yeah.
literally, like, can you pet my head? Because he's like giving me solutions to my
Yes.
problems that I just wanted him to listen
Yeah.
and tell me that I'm right.
Yeah.
Like in my feelings. But the reason I say it is because these all play into confidence.
Mhm.
Either it's overconfidence, underconfidence, it can be this hyper rationality. They're all related.
Yeah.
And I really recommend for everybody out there, really do have a look at this positive intelligence concept. There are a lot of great things, for example, the need for self-command, those kinds of topics, which I think are really worth exploring when it comes to confidence and mental fitness in general.
Yeah. We're going to talk about some foundational work that we can do to build confidence. And I think a good start for doing that, if you have a moment, and I truly don't think it'll take long, is if you go to positiveintelligence.com.
Yep.
There's actually a test. Take the saboteur assessment.
Mhm.
And it gives you a bit of a score. So you can again develop awareness, sensitivity towards, and kindness towards yourself. If you are a procrastinator, if you are hyperachiever or hyper rational, I would suggest maybe a good starting point for foundational work in confidence building could be to take that test.
So definitely take that test. And once you do, what he also has are these, he calls them the mental, to build mental fitness. So he's brought down ways to, for example, to focus on self-command. So it's about bringing your attention back. So there are exercises to help you focus your brain. And it's about, let's say, strengthening again those neural pathways to your prefrontal cortex, because that's what you're really trying to do. It's you're trying to rewire your brain.
Love it. This is like the neural networks that you were talking about.
Yep.
Building new synapses.
I really, really, really like this.
So our foundational work, we also, you and I have discussed this, that we recommend from our own personal experience, from the books we've read, from the research that we've done, that for confidence, it's not I'm going to wake up and be confident. It's I'm going to practice, I'm going to observe others, I'm going to gradually and deliberately build the muscle by going to the gym regularly. That's kind of like the foundational work that you need to do, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Reframing. That's, I think, one of my, as I said, if you're going through a hard time, how can you reframe that situation? What lessons, and this is also in PQ, in positive intelligence, where they talk about how can you reframe what you're going through as a gift. What gifts do you receive from this situation? Is it a gift of knowledge? Is it a gift of, I can't remember the gifts, but there's 4 gifts.
Okay.
I like the gift of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can have a look at it.
Okay.
It's the 4 gifts of positive intelligence.
So I have a problem with the gift thing.
No, why?
Yeah, I really do have a problem with the gift things, because I think some things in life just suck.
And they do.
There is no gift. There's just like, please stop with the, like,
I know.
I'm trying to think about some of the shittiest things that have happened in my life. I'm like, sorry, no gift there. Unless it's some sort of like sage from the top of the mountain is going to come down and give me my gift in 20 years.
It's so funny you say the word sage, because that's exactly what he calls the positive part of your brain. He calls it the sage. I think you're already annoyed by this. But for people who are less critical, I do recommend him.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the 4 gifts. I'm trying to find that for us.
Okay, while you do that, I have an observation around this cognitive reframing. So we've talked about choice mindset and constraint mindset. If you think and believe that you have choices, can you shift your perspective from negative to positive?
Yep.
Can you have a more constructive way? Now, how would I know to do that? That yes, cognitive reframing is a tool for confidence.
Yeah.
So I'm trying for confidence building or confidence refinding, as we've been saying. So I wonder an example of the way that you said, it's a gift, a privilege in many ways. If you go into a negotiation, I'm thinking about a cognitive reframe. We talked about needing to call the Swiss tax authorities to redo your tax thing. How do I shift that perspective from, oh God, it's going to suck, they're going to hate it, and they're going to charge me more on my taxes? That's a shift from negative. So, how do I make it positive? Is it positive that we talk about the rewards of doing that? Is that the gift? Maybe I'm going to get some money back.
Exactly.
That's a reward.
That's a reward. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I really can't find these gifts. I will in the next episode definitely talk about them, because I do really like this part. But yes, the gift of knowledge. That could be, for me, the gift of knowledge is a great one, because when you say you go through something, it was painful. When you reflect on it, you can say, okay, what did I learn from it? I usually try to do that. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm trying to have empathy for situations where previously I would be there being like, this was horrible, this sucked, because negativity it just manifests.
Mhm.
The more negative you are, the more negative, it just keeps growing. It's easy to be negative.
Sure.
And so that's where I'm trying, or even with, with the very difficult situation, I'm trying to have empathy for the people that I have, I personally don't dislike, but I'm trying to say, why did that person act that way?
Mhm.
Was it because they never received, proper guidance?
Yeah.
Or they are having a hard time because they're a single mother and therefore XYZ. Doesn't mean I forgive what they've done,
Mhm.
but it at least lets me, in Bengali, you say, what is the, where you just kind of wash your hands off and you're like,
Okay.
oh,
not my monkey, not my circus.
not my monkey, not my
Okay. All right. And another bit of foundational work, which for me came with my Vicky experience, was finding that balance of confidence and humility. Humble pie don't taste no good.
Yeah.
I was, my ego,
Mm-hmm.
my lack of preparation. So my foundational work from that experience was I have to prepare.
Yes.
That if I want to be a person of integrity, I have to be respectful and prepare.
Yeah. And not
my
my ego is an asshole.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. And calm my ego down to be respectful of someone else's ego as well. That to me has been foundational work, is just not being arrogant.
Yeah.
Just like, and I truly, I want to, and really, I really want to think that really smacked it out of me. I don't think I've ever had it after that.
Yeah.
It was such a life-changing experience for me, that 30 minutes in that meeting room with this person, that I've never had that problem again.
And okay, and I found the gifts, by the way.
Oh, okay. What are
So
they?
the first one is the gift of knowledge, which I spoke about. Ask myself, what knowledge would I be able to gain from this adversity?
Okay.
Which will result in a larger payout in the future.
Okay.
For example, if you lose a bid for a major project, instead of beating yourself up about it, take time to reflect and take stock of your learnings from it. Use your learnings to think of a new strategy. Very common. We do this very often.
Okay. So gifts and lessons learned.
Yes, gifts and lessons learned.
Yeah.
Gift of knowledge. Gift of power. This is about what must I build within myself that in the future I will be able to handle these situations with more ease. So
With more power.
With more power. So
Yeah.
for example, it's almost like if you can't lift 5 kilos of a dumbbell, you probably have to start with 3 kilos and work up to it. The same way, if you need to build empathy as one of your skills, then that is the gift of power. That you need to build the empathy muscle.
Yep.
Okay. And the last one is the gift of inspiration. And this is, if you can't find a gift, you give yourself a gift. Say, I went through this shit situation because of this. Tomorrow I'm gonna, I don't know, go to an old age home and do something good for other people. And I'm doing it because of the shit situation that I went through.
Oh, I like that, actually.
So it's completely, you give yourself a gift. But
that's a really nice reframe.
I love
the gift of inspiration.
well, that's why I was searching for it. Because I love that. It's like, I went through the situation, and because it was such a shit situation and I can't think of anything, I'm going to do something good and turn it into a gift.
Okay, I have to tell you something very petty, very silly. I had something really, really, really hectic happen in my life a while back, and it was really bad. And the gift that I gave myself was promptly after that really, really bad thing happened, I went and bought jewelry.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? It was so bad. I need something to mark it. So I'm never going to forget it. And I'm going to hold on to this piece of jewelry.
But think about it. If that's it. And the whole idea is to tell yourself that, imagine if that situation didn't happen, I wouldn't have this jewelry. So it's so great that it happened. But that's what I was trying to do. When I was going through that really hard time, I was actually doing the PQ, the program.
Yeah.
And I really do believe I haven't been as diligent as I would like to be with it, after it, but it helped me get out of that negative,
build that confidence,
that negative mindset, to tell myself, I went through a hard time, but I'm not going to let that define me.
Yeah. We've had some of these tactical. So, okay, I bought a piece of jewelry, you got a tattoo.
Yes.
There's all of these things that build confidence. To talk about your alter ego.
Yeah, so we did speak about it in the first episode where I have a tattoo of Durga and Kali, the two goddesses of the Indian goddesses, one that represents light and motherhood, and then the other which represents darkness and fight and for me it's very important that I think that I'm channeling those energies when I'm going through something. So if I want to be a kind, giving, the valued, principled person, then I channel more of my Durga. But if I want to be a fighter, if I want to make sure I'm not a pushover, I'm more Kali then. And so that's how I think about it in my mind. I think a lot of people have alter egos. Like Beyonce with her Sasha Fierce. Yeah. There's others. Yeah. Okay. And another thing I love doing as well, and I'm trying to do that more, is I'm anchoring on what I know. I'm trying to source my confidence, being like, okay, I might not be good at kite surfing, or I've never done it. I have zero confidence, but I am going to just go there and I will try it because I'm confident in looking. Even if I can't do it, it's fine. You're confident in your ability to learn. To learn, exactly. I'm confident in my ability to learn. I'm confident in the ability that in my ability that I have been going to the gym. I have been lifting, so I will maybe have some physical strength that will pull me through that situation. So to look for positive emotional resources, whether it's passion, compassion, pride in something that you pride, have, to help you bolster confidence in difficult situations. So in comparison, mine are a little, I don't want to say superficial, they're a little bit physical. So there was a TED talk long many moons ago. And this person who gave the TED talk spoke about how animals and nature, like gorillas and orangutans and chimpanzees and whatever, when these animals go in to mate, or they go in for battle, or they're going in to protect their offspring, what they do is, and now I'm standing up, and they stretch themselves out. Their power arms. Yes, the power poses. So they stretch their arms in a way out to take up a lot of space. And what she found in her research was when humans do that, it also releases chemicals in our brain that gives us physical juice to go in to do the thing that we are ready to do at that moment. Absolutely. Right? Agreed. So I'm a big fan of doing that. I actually, before a important discussion of any sort, negotiation in the sense of I'm going in to receive and conduct my own performance review. I am going in to discuss with somebody that we actually need to downsize the team. Or I am going in to meet a client where I desperately want their business because I really like that company. Any of that. 2 minutes before, and I really mean 2 minutes, 2 minutes before I step into the bathroom and I stretch myself out, tippy toe, take up as much space as I can. And I'm stretching right now to let all of those good juices into my body so I can go in with power. So can I show you? So for those of you who have watched Ted Lasso, have you watched Ted Lasso? I kind of know it. So the woman, right? The main character, Rebecca Welton. Oof. I love Power Woman, and I just love her. I don't think I have loved a character as much as I love Rebecca. Okay. And she has her power pose before everything. Okay. She's a Power Woman. I'm showing you the face that she does to herself. Oh, it's like a haka face. It's a haka face. It's like a dragon position where I know it's not the most attractive one, but she does it in every episode where she's going into a very difficult negotiation. Yes. So if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, highly recommend it. Hopefully the next season is coming out. Yeah. But this is the pose, and I just loved how they portrayed her in the show as a woman of power, woman of strength, but a woman of heart, kindness, and because they are ands. And there are ands. You can be all of those things. Yes. Yeah. So, and my last one, again, is very physical in the sense of what it does for me. I have a playlist. Yep. And I call it Loud. My playlist is called Loud, and I've been building it for the years. And it has, so let's say a half hour before any of this kind of, and if and hype yourself up. Yeah, it's my hype music, because I think anything that is important to you, you will make the half hour before to be in the state of mind. Mm-hmm. You will not just rush into it. If it was important, I'm not talking about every discussion. I'm not talking about every meeting that you have. I'm talking about an important
important discussion that you need to have, you will make the half hour before to get yourself into that mood. And for me, like, my playlist has a little bit of Eminem. There's this movie called Pacific Rim. I literally might be the only person who's ever watched it.
I don't think so. I think it's pretty popular.
Oh my God, it's so great. And I love the music from it. I also really like transformer music, like the power music.
Yeah.
So about a half hour before I listen to the music, then I go in 2 minutes before to the bathroom and stretch myself out and do the Rebecca pose. And then I'm going in very energetic, but not overly, but just like correctly. My brain is swimming in good, happy chemicals.
Yeah. I go spinning, for example. For me, spinning is my happy place. It releases so much dopamine in my body. Sometimes I'm like so happy and giddy after my spinning class. I love it because I genuinely feel, look, even if it doesn't go well, you got positive emotions. You got positive, chemicals running through your brain. So how can it be bad for you?
Exactly.
So I do really, I think these are great things. And I think I just want to establish that regain your confidence, rebuild your confidence, because it's important.
Yeah.
It's important for you and in helping you in many, many parts of your life, not just for negotiations.
In this episode, we delved into the power of confidence in negotiations and actually in life. We explored how confidence, often seen as an innate trait, is actually a skill that can be cultivated through practice and shifting your mindset.
We discussed the importance of knowing your why and how it can fuel your confidence or ground it. We also shared practical strategies, both the foundational work as well as the tactical work that you can do to give you a boost of confidence.
Remember, confidence is not about being perfect, but about believing in your ability to navigate challenges and advocate for yourself. By implementing these strategies, you could unlock your full potential, not just as a negotiator, but just as a person.
I couldn't agree more.
That's a wrap for this episode of Negotiator. If you like this episode, share it forward and help us all rise together. Your voice matters. Stand up for yourself. And when you can, stand up for someone else too. Until next time, this is Negotiator, empowering you to become unstoppable.